Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Inspiring Life Journeys, where we have conversations with everyday people on their journey through life, their ups and downs, where they were started off and where they are today, to successful entrepreneurs who we can learn from and they can share their journeys. So let's begin today with just a short introduction of who we are and what we're all about. Okay, that was our introduction. Today we have Nick Ogilvy. Nick, welcome, Nick. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Shantha. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick. Just a little bit of introduction to Nick. I met Nick a few months ago, and he's such an inspiration. He's an entrepreneur. He's a successful entrepreneur, and he's had some, his life journeys. I know we all can learn from it, but also some tips and tools of what his business is all about. So, Nick is. Let me just go ahead and read it over here so that I give you the right information about Nick. Nick Ogilvy is a native of Clovis in New Mexico. He was inspired by his entrepreneurial family and his passion for business. After attending West Texas A&M and serving as vice president of the Phi Delta Theta fraternity, he worked at the Ambassador Hotel, where he learned the importance of hard work and dedication. He later became a conductor for BNSF Railway, but was laid off, prompting him to invest his life savings in learning how to lay artificial turf. Nick foresaw the growing demand for artificial turf due to water scarcity, as described in Jeffrey Rothfeder's book, Every Drop for Sale. Today, with 16 years of experience, Nick has installed turf across the US, including high-profile projects for Crystal River Harley-Davidson, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Hard Rock Hotels, and Disney World. A passionate golfer, Nick has designed and installed artificial turf golf courses with his latest project in Lucas, Texas. Wow, Nick, you've got quite an experience over there in the artificial turf. What a great opportunity for you to work with all those amazing companies.
Yeah, it's been, it's been really, really fantastic and so thankful, that I've gotten to meet all these people and get relationships and growing my business.
Right. Nick, our show is called Inspiring Life Journeys, right? So we take you back down to your childhood. What you wanted, what would you like to share? Growing up, where you grew up, what's your experience life? And I'm sure you've got some lessons you learned from that, which you apply to today's world.
Oh, yeah. So grew up in a small town, Clovis, New Mexico. And, having a family that was entrepreneurial and every bit of our family is really hard workers, and had really great work ethic, and was always like, if you want it, you got to go out there and get it. And so I'm very thankful for that. As a little child, I was on the farm at my great grandparents, and I got to learn all about hard work as a child, and I really enjoyed it. And so, and then at the age of 7, I started golfing, and I enjoyed golfing. And so when I found that I could do artificial turf and kind of relate it to golf, that's what really drew me to this. And I've been, able to build golf courses, create practice facilities for various people. And it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a great journey so far.
Great. I'm sure growing up in the farm, there were a lot of life lessons which you apply today too. Just the hard work and the tenacity to keep on doing that, right? So it's awesome. What an experience. And now, speaking of farm life, I know there's something that you continue to have a passion for, and you have 2 adorable. I've forgotten their names, though, right?
Yeah, Belted Galloway cows. Yeah, called Milk and Cookie because they look like Oreos.
They're so cute. Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about your passion for that a little later on the show. But as after you grew up, you went. You said that you went to college at Texas A&M, and
Yep.
then what led you to the job that you had, and how was your experience then? What are the lessons you learned from that?
Yeah. So, what led me to the job? So I quit a semester short of
Mm,
graduating. And why I did that was I had friends that were graduating and they weren't getting jobs that their degree was in.
mm,
And they weren't going to make near as much money as when I had the opportunity to join BNSF Railroad. So that's why I joined BNSF Railroad. And it was a fantastic experience with the railroad. I enjoyed it. I really honestly enjoyed it. Sometimes I didn't enjoy at 2 a.m. climbing up a mountain to figure out why my trains broke in the
mm,
snow. I didn't like that part.
mhm.
But every job has its ups and downs. Um,
Right.
and I gotta say, probably, I mean, I love just working with the guys. It was just great relationships with everyone, and still to this day, I have great relationships with them, and they actually buy turf from me. They're like, "Hey, can I buy turf and I install it myself? Can you send me?" So, a guy in Wellington, Kansas, just bought some turf from me, and I'm helping him. So it's really cool. It's the railroad's unique because the
Mhm,
railroad works 24/7. It never stops. So you have to be on call 24/7. And, I think that helped me as far as
mhm.
business for being consistent. And even if you don't feel like going to work, you need to go to work because you're supplying goods to all over the country. And so it's one of those things like truck drivers, the railroad, transportation in general is so important to the economy and to the US. So, I took pride in my job. So, yeah.
Yeah, those are some of the jobs that we take sometimes we take for granted. There's so much
Yeah.
behind the scenes that happens there to make it happen, and like you said, building those relationships while you're working. You never know when those are going to come in, and you can bless and help other people, and vice versa, right? So
Absolutely.
so just building relationships wherever you are is so important on that. So I love that you read that book, Every Drop for Sale, that kind of pivoted you to really took action to
Oh
start your
yeah.
own artificial turf.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about what really interested you in starting that line of business.
So I got, started because one, we were having a drought in New Mexico. And, basically the whole West Coast is a
Hmm.
drought. And so I had to draw to that to help. There was a problem. So then I'm like, okay, how can I solve the problem or help the problem? So that's why I kind of, went to that as well, to the artificial turf.
Hmm.
It's supposed to be, back when I started 16 years ago, it said in the next 30 years, this and solar is going to be the best thing that's going. And I'm glad I read that magazine article and did that because
Hmm.
it really is growing. And the artificial turf industry just keeps growing and growing. And, with all the droughts all over the country,
Hmm.
it's basically it's a no-brainer to to install turf because 1,000 square foot of turf consumes 75,000 to 100,000 gallons of water a year,
Wow.
which is amazing. You would never think.
Hmm.
So, oil, I believe personally that it's going to be the next oil, and so it's a precious resource that we all need to have.
Right.
So,
Well. Hmm. Now, I was going to say that those are staggering statistics that we, never think of how much it really consumes.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think you picked the right one because the way things are heading, it's continuing. It wasn't there for a short time frame, and we're back again. And we have turf on our backyard, and I love the look of it, and I love the maintenance.
Uh-huh.
right? You don't know what to do. Yeah, but I see more and more of that coming up all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So you've had some impressive companies that you've worked with. Tell me some of those experiences of how, if you want to share some of those that you
Sure.
went through.
So I did a big job in Florida for the largest construction company in Florida, and everybody took notice of how well I did it and how I stuck to my word and my schedule. And so other companies would just word of mouth
Mm,
start contacting me. And I gotta say that a neat job that I did was for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was for the kids zone at the
mhm,
stadium, and so it was pretty neat because I was having to take turf through the stadium in my pickup and
mhm.
literally driving all. It was pretty cool. It was a neat experience to go behind the scenes
Yeah,
and to actually work with the organization, and it was really a neat experience. It was a really neat deal. So I really enjoyed it.
that's great. That's great. Now, I know there are different types of turfs and different. There are some which your feet get really hot on that, and I know yours doesn't. But what do you want to tell us a little that to educate our audience about artificial turf that people aren't really familiar with?
Yeah, so there's all different types of turf, all different types of features for the turf, depending on your application.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I've done is I've created my own turf that I get manufactured for me. And so, one of my turfs that I have is actually 30 degrees cooler. And so, it's an impressive turf. And I would say one of the first lawns that got it was, Craig's in
Mm-hmm.
here in Texas, and him being out in California beforehand, he had turf that was hot, and he couldn't fathom that this was so much cooler. And now, I mean, you've heard even from yourself, it is
Mm-hmm.
cooler and it is not. I mean, he can't believe it. So I have turf that's cooler, and then I also have a turf that has an antimicrobial built into the fibers. And so what it does is it helps when the pets urinate,
Mm-hmm.
shield everything so it doesn't get in the fibers, it rolls right off. And so no mold, no mildew. So it's a good turf. And so I'm the one, so I don't believe that I'm not the cheapest, but I am the best. And that's how I've designed these products. They're not the cheapest, but they're
Mm-hmm.
the best because it's such a big expense to put this in. So you want it to be good. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Yeah, it's the value that you get, the value that you get for the what you pay, and it's just for the fact that it's cooler and it has those things for the pets.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a great feature that your turf has that not many of them have. I think I was mentioning it to you. The one we have on our backyard, after a period of time, we could smell the
Yep.
pet urine. So I need to get some of your products so that I can kind of take care of that problem. But for those who are installing it, what a great way to install the right one to
Yes.
begin with, so that you don't have to have this um, continuing worry about the smell that comes out through that.
Yeah.
Aside from that, what is the why would you suggest that people really go for the artificial turf compared to just laying the grass and
Yeah.
there's maintenance, but I'm sure there are other features as well.
Yeah, there are. So your return on your investments only about 4 to 5 years,
Mm,
and the warranty on it's 15 years. So you're definitely going to get the use out of it. And there's no muddy paws, less fleas and ticks.
mm-hmm,
Um, it's just less pests that can get inside your house. It's a lot cleaner. So there's no water, no less maintenance. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I mean, it's one of those things that that here in Texas, there's some communities that pay a lot for water,
mm-hmm,
and so I have financing, and so they'll get their turf financed, and it will be as much as their water bill, right?
mm-hmm.
Water bill and maintenance. And so what happens is after that's paid off in 3 to 4 years, now they truly are saving a ton of money.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah. I never thought about the issue of ticks and fleas.
Oh yeah.
I never considered that when I was doing that. It was more of, maintenance and water, but what a lot of other benefits it has just for your
Yeah,
pet.
absolutely. So in one of our cleaners, OxyTurf,
Mm-hmm.
that we use, it's the only EPA registered artificial turf cleaner, but it also kills fleas, ticks, and mosquito eggs.
Ah,
So
mm-hmm.
as you spray it, so now you have less mosquitoes, no ticks, no fleas. I mean, it's so, and everybody can, go to my site to luxblades.com to get the OxyTurf. But yeah, it's amazing.
Great value on that for that. Um, I think you briefly mentioned it's about a 15-year. Is that typically how the lifetime of
Yeah,
the turf,
so
how long it
it's a
lasts?
15-year warranty, but it's
Mm-hmm.
probably, I mean, I've been in business for 16 years, and the one I first did in New Mexico still looks great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I mean, I think you're gonna get every bit of 30 years out of it,
That's
which
awesome.
is which is definitely worth the money.
Mm-hmm. Could you give some tips for those who have it or those who are in considering it, what the maintenance would be like to have something like this later?
Yeah, so periodic brushing's always good to make sure
Mm-hmm.
the fibers are stood up and make sure that everything's good. Checking the seams, and then if you have weeds or grass that's coming up through the turf, because it does happen, spray it first with like
Mm-hmm.
Roundup or something, and then let it die, and then pick it, because that
Okay.
way it goes all the way down to the roots. Because if you pick it and then spray the area, there's nothing to where it can travel down into and get into it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one. And then I would take, basically like I said earlier, take the OxyTurf. And
Mm-hmm.
in the summer months when it's hotter, you're gonna notice some smell.
Mm-hmm.
So if you treat it really, really well, then that's gonna help as well. And so like in Northern California, there's a company, you've met Jose. He
Yeah.
has he has turf busters that's you know, cleaning people's yards, and he's having great success just spraying it over. So
I did not know that. What a great partnership there between
yeah,
you and the Turf Busters. Yeah.
yeah.
See, I haven't been really doing the maintenance, I guess, for my turf because I haven't been brushing it or getting somebody to brush it up.
Well, and the thing is you can take a wide leaf broom
Uh-huh.
or a leaf rake with
Right.
the plastic one, the cheap plastic ones even, and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of comb it, and then it looks great.
Okay. Okay. I guess I was afraid to rip it out if I don't do
No,
it right.
you're not gonna hurt it. No, you're not gonna hurt it.
Not gonna hurt it. Okay. And then what a great tip about spraying the weed first, because we've just been sometimes I've seen even my gardener just pull it out. So I need to tell them, you need to spray that before you pull it out so that it really kills it to the root. So that's a great
Absolutely.
tip.
Yep.
Yeah. So what are your plans for the future for this company, and how do you see it, where it's going to be heading to?
Yeah, sure. So I've got my new line of turf that's out. And so I'll distribute it all across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have www.turfedu.com,
Mm-hmm.
where I teach people how to do the artificial turf business. It's really easy for landscapers and hardscapers for me to teach them this,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll get an additional $100,000 a year just by taking my course. So it's really cool. So I wrote books, I've done
Mm-hmm.
courses. I mean, I'm here to help. So that's what I'm trying to do. So that's the expansion, is doing the turf, and that all over the country, that they get a good quality product at a fair price.
Okay. Can you repeat that again, Nick? Is it www.edu?
Turf
Turf. Okay, I'm
edu.
going to step Turf edu. Okay. Go ahead and repeat that again.
Yep, turfedu.com.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yep.
I'll go ahead and put that in the comments too at the end of the show so that people can connect with you.
Okay,
I
great.
know you have some great courses there that you've been helping people who want to get into the business as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I've had a lot of people interested in doing it, and great success. So it's really awesome.
Awesome. That's great.
So I
Great.
see that Paul Russo is he commented, "Good afternoon, Shantha and Nick." So hey, Paul.
Oh, hi, Paul. Yeah, so I guess it must be showing up there. So that's great.
Yeah.
I know Paul's in your area, and he's got a good partnership there with the golf business there, I think.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
And I'll probably see him at we have a Connect 2023 Master Networks at Connect. So
yeah,
I'm sure I'm seeing him this week.
yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Nick, what are your? It says you're an avid golfer, so tell us a little bit about. I'm not too much of a golfer, but you can share some of your golf loves and
Yeah.
experiences.
So I've had I've played golf a lot, not as much now as I used to because I work about 24/7. But I would say I'll give one of the best golf course. Like I've had a lot of good experiences and a lot of fun things, and I've won a lot of tournaments, and I've had 8 hole-in-ones,
Awesome.
which
Hmm.
is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
One of them was at a tournament, so I got a little newspaper clipping, as so that's pretty cool. But one of my favorite courses I played was at the Royal Golf Course in Honolulu,
Uh-huh.
and it was wild because each tee box, it's like you took your cart through the jungle or through the rainforest, and all of a
Uh-huh.
sudden there's this beautiful hole, and you get to play, and then go to the next one, and it's just like it was unbelievable. It was a really tough course,
Hmm.
but I still enjoyed it a lot. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. So if anybody ever gets to go to Hawaii, to Honolulu, to play that course, that's what's funny is I think every US president has
Hmm.
played there. I think it's like one of their deals that they have to go over there and play, but it's
Yeah.
is really neat.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like an amazing course there.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
With me being in the travel business, I gotta ask you, what are some of the places other than that amazing course in Hawaii? What are the amazing places that you've been to or would like to go to?
So another place that I've been to that was pretty cool was South Africa, and went to Cape Town, and then went over to the Indian Ocean side and did great white shark diving. So
Wow.
that was a lot of fun, and it was a good
Mhm.
experience. Um, Amsterdam, and with all the history there, that's really neat. One place that I want to go to is Rome, and
Mm.
I like to go to Rome and Jerusalem. Those are my two places. I mean, it's those two would be absolutely amazing.
What draws you to those two places?
So Jerusalem is the path of Jesus and
Yeah.
all that, and I want to go
Mhm.
see all that because it just
Uh-huh.
fascinates me. And then Rome and Italy is because of all the history
Yeah.
behind it. I mean, but then I could go
Mhm.
to, it's just everywhere, right? Prague.
Right.
I know
Right.
we talked about India. Like, I'm like, I want to go there. I want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Each of those places are so unique, right? Like
In
you,
their own way.
yeah,
Yes.
in their own way. And like the Holy Land of Israel, that's going to change you. Like,
Oh,
it's walking in the footsteps of where Jesus walked, and, just so much of history out there.
yeah.
And Europe has got so much of the civilization and the history and the beautiful buildings.
Hmm.
So I know. And India is definitely full of culture and experiences.
Yes.
So that's really awesome. Um, yeah. Now I got to ask you about your two cars, because I know that you also have another interest which you're exploring on in
Yep.
the restaurant world.
Yep.
But just tell me about what took you to that. They're so beautiful. I love the video that you showed about them just chasing you behind your little tractors there,
Yeah.
welcoming you, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's funny because on cows, like a lot of people don't understand, like I can call them, and I have a call that I do, and when I yell it, they literally, no matter where they're at in the pasture,
Wow.
they're coming. I mean, you've seen the videos of them
Yeah.
just taken off.
Uh-huh.
And so it's really cool. But you know, I raise them and then, you know, of course, butcher them. And but how I do it is in a way where there's no it's all organic. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I do is I have them on grass, and then every 3 days I'll have grains and stuff like that. And then I have a mineral tub that they eat out of, so that way they're super healthy. So and then whenever you get the meat,
Mm-hmm.
it's full of flavor but less fat.
Mm.
And so it's when you have this, like everybody that's, you know, came over and I've cooked them steaks or something like that, they're like, it's absolutely amazing. And you can cut the steaks with a knife, with not a knife, but with a fork. I mean, it's that
Wow.
tender.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Now
Yeah.
you have a passion for starting your own restaurant
Oh,
line,
yeah.
right?
Yep. I'm
And
hoping to have that maybe hopefully next year. So I'm excited. I love to cook. I love to cook. It's a passion of mine. I don't know why. I think ever since when I was a little child, um,
mhm.
when I was getting ready for school, we had it on Good Morning America, and Julia Child was the cook, you know,
Oh
was the
yeah. Mhm.
and so I was really interested, like, okay, what's she cooking today before I go to school, you know? And then it's just I don't know, it's just I love
So
it.
what do you think your line would be like? Specializing in.
So yeah, so it's gonna be a themed restaurant,
Mhm.
and it's gonna have Cajun, New Mexican, um, you know, American. It's just a whole bunch of fun favorite foods that I've been able to cook over the years and put it into a fun menu. And it's going to be a place where all families can enjoy it. And I don't want to give too much away
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
it's it's you know it's a definitely a unique
Right.
restaurant. But
Right.
yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, but I love the vision that you have for that as well as for your turf business. That's all the entrepreneurial journey, right? It's just growing and seeing what new things you can do, and uh, you know coming up with new adventures. So yours is, I love what you're doing and what I can vision to see where you're heading to.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
That's great. So, Nick, any final tips or thoughts or things that you would like to share with the audience? Um, go for it.
Man, so let's talk about real quick entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs in general. So something that really stuck with me at our retreat that we went to was Tim Story's deal about 3 rooms, right?
Right.
And
Hmm.
so I'm going to share that. Is that okay if I share that
Yeah,
on here?
definitely. That was powerful.
So
So, I'd love to do that.
yeah, so a lot of people you have 3 rooms. You have your acquaintances room, friends and family room, and then green room. And the green room is where that's the backstage access, right? That's where
Right.
all the people that are super close to you are. And then, you know, to help you succeed. So one thing that I really learned about, you know, it's who you hang out with is how
Hmm.
you align with others and how you're going to be successful. If you hang around with a lot of people that party all the time, you're probably not going to be that successful. So, you know, and the one thing in the green room is sometimes, even if it's your mom and your dad or whatever, whoever it is close to you, it's okay that they're not in that green room because you have to have people that are positive that align with you in that green room because that's going to benefit you in the future.
Hmm.
So that was really, I got a lot out of it because I was like, man, there's some people in my green room that I need to put them back in my friends and family room. So that was that's something I really, you know, I took with him, like that stuck with me, right? And I was just
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
wow. And then some impactful stuff that Gloria Mayfield Banks said was there's always someone out there trying to erase you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And right. And in business is I mean, there is always someone trying to erase you. Shanta, I have so many people, so many
Hmm.
haters out there because they're like, well, I'm going to badmouth him or, you know,
Hmm.
company so then that way maybe I'll do better. And I guess maybe, I mean, she's absolutely right. There's always someone trying to erase you. So always do the right thing,
Yeah.
even when nobody's looking,
Mm-hmm.
and always give quality products and not just customer service, but the customer experience.
Mm.
And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't do anymore is the customer experience. And I think, like you want the customer, you give good customer service, but you also give great customer experience. They're
Right.
always going to remember you. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like about your business. So they're always going to remember you. So
Yeah.
that's my little tips. I hope that helps.
No, that does. That does. And those were powerful, stories that we heard and things that we learned.
Yep.
And that's the experience that you've picked up from all of that. So that's awesome that, you know, definitely customer experience and being true to yourself and doing the right thing is will get you way, way, way ahead of everybody else who, you know, whatever in
Absolutely.
your lane.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Nick, I'm going to put up your contact. So,
Okay.
tell people aside from your biz card, that's your biz card that they can get. But go ahead and tell them how they can reach you,
Yeah,
and how they can get to know you, and if they have
sure.
turf needs.
Sure. So you can, my phone number is 972-895-9199, or you can go to therealnicko.com. And there I have all of my different businesses that I own that I'm part of. And also it has a neat deal called Nick's Toolbox. And so if you're
Yeah.
an entrepreneur and you want to different things to help propel your business, you can go to nickstoolbox.com as well, or get it off the Real Nicko. And it has a lot of information out there. Because a lot of people say, man, every time I turn on social media, there you are. There you are. I had one guy said, man, I had to like just take you off because every time I'd open up my Facebook, there you are. And so I was like, well, I'm doing something right then.
Yeah.
And so I have it all set up, and hopefully that helps people. So yeah, but that's how you get a hold of me.
Yeah. I forgot about that Nick's toolbox. I forgot. Now, if they go to your biz card, will they get all this information there as well?
No, but they'll be able to get my email, and then I can I
Okay.
can always direct them to it.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and, I know I have Nick's biz card scrolling down there, but
Yep.
I'll go ahead and add the Nick's toolbox,
Okay.
as well as your turfedu.com to the comments so that people
Perfect.
can connect with you. And I forgot, you're a pro at Reels and Facebook, and you're so consistent. I think that's what I learned from you.
That's the key.
Mhm.
Consistency.
Right.
It was funny because yesterday I was going to look at a new vehicle, and the salesman was new, and he's like, yeah, I just this. I said, you know what? You got 10 minutes. And so everybody has vision boards that they do every year, and mine
Mhm.
is to help at least 205 people. Why I picked 205, I have no clue, but I did. And so
Mhm.
I was like, well, let me help you real quick. And so I started showing him things that I've done, and he was blown away. He's like, but it looks so much more difficult than that. I said, well, yeah, that's what people want you to think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just those few tips, I got a text from him. I got a text from him this morning that he was like, I've already got 2 people coming to the dealership to buy a car.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So it's just little tips and tricks that,
Yeah.
don't just work for the turf business, but works for other business as well. So it's pretty cool.
And what a great helper that was. Just that little thing I think kind of inspired him to
Yep.
to get going, and now he's going to continue doing that. And I was so impressed that even when we were at an event, you faithfully did your reels in the morning. So
Yep.
you're really good at that. So I'd highly recommend everybody to follow Nick on his social channels, and watch him how he does it, and the tips that he gives. He gives some really great tips, not only on the turf business but just entrepreneurial business tips. So do follow him on that.
Thank you so much, Shantha. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Nick. Any last thoughts that you would like to share before we wrap this up?
Uh, I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered it all.
Yeah, we covered
Uh,
it up all.
I'm just ready to go on that cruise, Shantha. That's all. I'm ready.
Yeah, we talked about it. We're going to plan our group cruise sometime
Yep.
soon, right? So
Yep.
that's going to be great, Nick. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And everyone, like I mentioned, do follow Nick on his socials channels, as well as you can go to his biz card. And I'll also go ahead and put the other websites that he has. But come again next time for our inspiring life journeys. We'd like you to share, subscribe, and comment on this. And thanks, Nick. And thank you for joining us. And
Oh,
we'll have you again in a few months after your new adventure starts, and
okay.
see where that's been
Perfect.
leading to.
Perfect. That'd be great. Thanks for
Right.
having me, Shantha.
You're welcome. Thanks, everyone. So just hang on, Nick.